welcome back to another episode of the Allies for Justice podcast. We have a special guest here, Kaylah, with us. I'm your co-host, Julia.
And I'm your co-host, Aiden. Today, like Julia said, we have Kaylah Marin, who is an artist, a filmmaker, and a writer who is deeply committed to social causes. Kaylah has collaborated with organizations like Dolores Huerta Foundation and Garfin, how do you say that again? The Garifuna International Indigenous Film Festival, making significant impact in the community. As a former board member of Community Service United, she focuses on health and economic restoration in Berkeley. She also had led Kajay Creative, who consulting businesses that harness the power of media, music, and art and film. And in addition to that, she co-directed the SF Social and Economic Justice Film Festival. And we are thrilled to have her here today to talk about the upcoming Social and Economic Justice Music Festival, which she is an executive director of. Welcome to our podcast, Kaylah.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Thank you.
Great intro, Aiden. Before we dive into the music festival and the film festival, I have to ask.
Oh no, I'm scared.
The Dolores Huerta, my God.
Oh,
so
no.
What was your collaboration with the Dolores Huerta Foundation like, and what was it like to be invited to perform at Dolores Huerta's 80th birthday?
There's so much. It's almost an episode in and of itself. And, you know, I've gotten to like go in and out working with that over time. So I know even when I was, not like, I think 2 of her other birthdays, I got to go play my guitar, so it was awesome. So for this particular one, I was doing music in LA at the time. I had just come off of having that song on the Billboard charts. So we were, you know, and a lot of other legal stuff. There was so much stuff going on at that time. And I got the call to sing a song that was written by, this is going to be horrible, but a relative of hers. So I don't want to say which one because I might get the order wrong, but one of her relatives. And so I performed his song on the stage. And it was an awesome, most beautiful night. And it was one of those things where I got to stay in her room, in her dressing room. And so the people that just came in and out of it, like I met Benjamin Brad, I got like everybody that could possibly have been every just, I guess, Latino and Hispanic royalty of here was all there to pay their respects as well as everyone else. And it's been I appreciate her so much and for what she has done. I've been working with another organization called Base Building for Power. And so one of the things that happens is training organizers, young organizers. And she comes in and she'll show up to the ending of the Junta Grande, she'll have conversations and share some of her experiences. And so I've been on some of those meetings, and she has made me truly appreciate a lot of what goes into being an organizer, right? You know, I mean, I think she told one story, and if I miss any pieces, but out of all the stories that I've heard her tell, this particular one stayed with me so strongly. And she was telling the students, she was saying how she had gotten dropped off somewhere where she's supposed to meet with somebody. They were supposed to like organize the people in this area. Like there was a bunch that was supposed to happen. And when she gets there, no one's there. And then she just, rolls up her sleeve, and by the end of the weekend, she's organized like over 100 people. And I'm like, that right there is, right? Because we come into it, and I think there's a lot of trepidation about, okay, how do we gather people? And that whole the whole movement of her and Cesar Chavez, like that whole thing was the idea of, and all these movements that we've had in the past, and what can we learn about it today? But it was about that people, like when we say people power, they've done so much to make that a bad word in the media, right? Like, what does that mean? Oh, but people power was that through relationships, through talking to people, through connecting, that out of that will grow a movement. Out of that, this person will come. This person's relatives will come. This person, and that's how you could come into a community and have real conversations. And that's called organizing, right? That's and if we look at issues we have in our lives, we look at things that we want to make change, that change happens when we bring people to it.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
So that night was amazing. I still write that. I put that on every resume because I just think like that to me was one of my biggest highlights, and just complete respect. And I hope that I don't want that knowledge to ever be lost, right? As the generations go on, or for us to not realize, like I said, there's a lot of words that that the media's been able to co-opt and make it where we don't understand like the root of what coming together is, and rather than it's like, no, we're humans, we are people of stories, and we're people of connection. Like that's the human culture, but then everything else builds. Like the stories you tell build this culture this way, and the stories they tell build all these cultures. But taking that at that root, that's what it comes back to. Whether you're gonna do that on, Instagram or TikTok, whatever medium you're going to use that for to reach people, talk to people, and connect, it doesn't matter. You can have all the technology in the world, but the root of how do we come together?
Yes.
How do we communicate? How do we have those conversations? How do we have those conversations, be angry, agree, disagree, all of those things, but still have those conversations? Because that's the only way that we both show up at the table and keep showing up.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's like
Yeah.
real quick question. Did you actually get to meet her?
Oh yeah, I've met her a couple of times.
Oh my god.
And yes, I think the energy that is there. I'm closer to her daughter, to
What?
Camila, and Camila is in the movie that Kajay just finished producing. So and co-producing. So an interview with her.
What's the name of that movie?
It's gonna call Culture Connects Us.
Okay.
It's coming. We've
Yeah.
entered it into the film festivals. We're getting
Keep an eye out
feedback.
for it.
But we have to keep it under wraps until we finish with all the deals with that. But closer to her in terms of having like some deeper conversations. But I met her mom a couple times, and her mom's amazing.
Oh, so
But she's amazing with that. She doesn't have to say anything. You just like look at her works, and that's enough to.
We're
Right.
so lucky. Oh my god.
We are.
Oh, I could just talk to you about this forever.
No, and we're lucky to have these people still here.
Right.
Right? Like, we're so lucky to have these people still here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so far either, just in like Bakersfield, things not too far.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
What?
yeah.
Dolores Huerta's in Bakersfield?
I mean, you have the organ at is it Bakersfield? Oh my god, my brain. And I should call. But the organization, like where the Chavez Center and all that is in Bakersfield. So you have we have all these places that are not that far away being out here in California.
Because Cesar Chavez was SoCal, Dolores Huerta was Northern California.
But yeah, they're all here. So
Cocoa beans.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're out here.
that's amazing to hear, especially about how you explain like organizing, how the coming of everybody together. That's like so important, and like you can see how everything is interconnected. So it's amazing to hear about that.
We have to value that more.
Yeah,
We have to. We have a lot of passion.
yeah,
That I'm really proud to see
yeah.
coming in like the generation after. I was kind of scared about some of that.
Right.
So I'm glad to see like the passion is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was a minute where
Definitely.
I was really getting kind of scared.
Of the youth's passion?
I was getting a little afraid at what was there, what wasn't. I wasn't sure.
Where?
Just in the next generation,
Yeah.
in the next or like the next.
I agree. I think it was scary. Even we are participating in the community right now, but like, you know, at some point, I didn't even think about it at all, you know? And there's so many people, I'm sure, that felt the same way, that are actually changing their minds now and then, you know, contributing to like the greatness of the next generation. So I think, yeah, it was scary, I'm sure, but there's definitely people that are still putting the work. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Stepping up. I mean, because really, I mean, I just felt like there was an assault done. There was an assault through media done on what, you know, like suddenly just making our like dependency on social media, what was coming in on the news. There's just so many things that were just like to bog you down or to have you caught up or to have you so stressed. So I think like one of the times that made me really, I was like, I'm watching, so like when I think it was in Ferguson, and I was watching the riots and the stuff that was happening there, and I was like, wow, okay, like the energy to fight is there, right? And that was beautiful.
What year was that?
I can't tell you because the years are running together.
Recently, like
Not too far, because I feel like it runs together. Like you had the Ferguson, you had the BLM, you had, you know, so you had like all this stuff that,
Okay, I was wondering because if it was like around that time. Yeah, that was really cool, and I actually totally agree with what you're saying, and that's part of the reason why, like, I feel so strongly about like this podcast is because I feel like I want to be able to show what I see when I go to protests like around the Ferguson time and stuff, because I don't see that in the media. I see the same reel from who knows if that's even in the same state, like being played over and over again. And I want to show like, well, actually, like this is like for example, the hotel worker strike. Most beautiful example of civil disobedience I've ever seen in my life, and it really showcases it in the most educational way for me to view it in real life, not in a textbook, not in a picture or a clip from the media which will misportray it perhaps. I really proud we get to show like highlight the true positive value of all these things, and that's why like we're so grateful to have you here on this podcast, hear your voice, and kind of echo that in our little new platform that we've started. Yeah.
It was powerful. I think I was talking to someone here earlier, I think it was last time. We're saying about how even when we think of unions, we think of worker rights, even with that, how we're all having that fight. You know,
Yes.
like it's starting to find its way, like tech work, it's finding its way. Like we're all starting to understand like the implications of us, we're workers. You know, we are labor, and therefore there is nothing that you don't fight for, that you don't get anything you don't fight for.
Yes. We're all experiencing similar things right now, which is very interesting.
Right. And it's gonna take people to slow it down, or else it's gonna like roll over all our hands.
Totally.
Yeah. So that's very important. So when you went to it though, what are some of the things that moved you being there that day?
Okay, so it was just the positive, joyous focus, the clear mission of the workers at the beginning, and their positive energy, and then the organization, the quality, the fantastic, like whatever. I know there was multiple parties at play for that to just be perfectly orchestrated and organized between like the labor unions, the organizers, the city, the police. Like it was just perfectly orchestrated. And when it came down to the civil disobedience, how peaceful it was, and you know, the protesters were given the freedom to just protest and, you know, and use their right for civil disobedience, but then the police officers handled the protesters with you know, respect, and that was really nice to see. And then just the fact that the organizers had the people who were getting arrested, they had their backs, you know, they're taking their citations and they're taking care of that for them. They're looking after their stuff. Like, it was just, you know, to see them at the end, you know, come out, like, you know, like, they're just like in and out, like, it was just so cool. And yeah, just, I would never have known that had I not seen that. And I think, like, kudos to everyone involved in that, and I'm so happy to showcase that. And I was reading the different media outlets, and that wasn't being said. It wasn't like, oh my God, what a perfect example of civil disobedience. It's not a scary thing, you know. And I think I wanted to show that it's not a scary thing. It could be really well done, and to encourage people to come out and participate. You know, maybe they don't want to be arrested, but to just not be afraid. It's a safe environment, and it's for a good cause, and it's something that we all are fighting for, struggling, or experiencing in a lot of different industries, and so much. Yeah, but yeah.
I love it. No, I want that message. That message should get out. I think my wife had said recently that it's time to micromanage the government.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, it's like we all like, oh, the president's election is coming up. She's like, no, it's not. Just like, we need to start showing up at every one of these little meetings they have in our neighborhoods and our communities.
Totally.
And, yeah.
We need to show up to all of it
We need to show
and
up.
speak and all of it. Yes.
Mhm.
Totally agree with that.
Because I think that's where we're gonna have to wrangle it back
Yeah.
and make it work for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
gonna be important.
So important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all beautiful things you guys said. I really want to talk about the music festival that's coming up, because I know
it's
it's
all the same
connected to
team.
everything. Yeah, exactly.
It
That's what I'm
is.
saying. So I want to incorporate that into this podcast. Talk about what's coming up.
So I'll say, I really had, and I guess each year you kind of have to check in with yourself and be like, what is your belief system? What are you gonna fight for? What are you gonna, and I think we all got our parts. And I'm like, okay, well, this might not be me, but this is definitely me. What is me? And I looked at everything I have done so far, and I'm like, you know, all has a common theme, and it's art. You know, it's art, it's music, it's performance. I believe in art and activism. I deeply believe in that. I think that music, media, all of that is a way to be seen, to reach people who perhaps would not have had an ear for you, may not even be interested if it wasn't for that beat calling them. So, I mean, right? It's all of that. So, I'm like, that's all I want to do. I want to, you know, make music that creates community. I want to promote things that create community. I want to simulate the idea of us all coming down as a village, meeting at the fireplace, and having a night together, right? It's the music that happens, the stories that happen, the connections, the worshiping, all of that. So, music festival, creating a space, we'll have workshops. We have some pretty just impressive people, Bay Area and all around, who have things to present, to make you think, and then to make you create at the end of what they share. We're going to be looking at like the music in Russell City, looking at healing through music, healing through art, looking at the songs of the labor movements in different communities, bringing that out and going through those workshops and then seeing what you create. And then we want it all to culminate in, if you want like song swaps, where you're going to bring material, other people are going to bring material, and you swap your songs, decide if you want to play with each other, and then we have the show at night, right? The fireplace. Coming to the end of the evening, and we will have space for people who have done the workshops and all, who perhaps want something they want to present, built in with some performers that are already going to be coming in to perform. We have some great groups lined up. Myself is one. I'm going to be there performing also. And we'll do this for 2 nights in a row. So we have a space for 2 full days, and we want to make it a time where we create community around music and activism, around music and social and economic justice issues, right? And and just so anything like that sparks that connection. I've always said like sometimes it's not as easy. Maybe you can't have the conversation with someone who you completely are like, I don't understand you or something. But somehow music, I could play with someone who I think completely different. Like we will find that ground, right, to create the bigger thing. So that's what this music festival is going to be that we're hosting. And it's going to be in January. We've picked the weekend of MLK Jr.'s birthday. I think you think too, like he himself, and touched like with one of his last speeches, was seeing like the connection between what was happening with labor and social justice and the movement. And so like this is just so apropos to just pick a time where we're thinking about unity, we're thinking about peace, we're thinking about social justice, and we are highlighting that as laborers, all of us, what that means.
Yeah, I think you're so right. I love what you said about did you say music and activism go hand in hand? Was that? Yes. I think I was just telling one of our colleagues at the Los Muertos Plaza Park San Francisco event on Friday. There seems to be a correlation between politics and the arts. For example, in the city of San Francisco, City Hall is right across the street from all the major art buildings, the orchestra, symphony, the theater. And I was like, there seems to be a connection there. So I totally agree with you on that. I love that you said that. And then also emphasizing community building through storytelling and visual media, right? Kind of goes with the, I like that emphasis. And so the music festival will be something related to that. And then it's also, I just want to highlight that this is really cool. I don't think everybody knows this. I just learned this myself because I thought the music festival, we were partnering with some major thing, conglomerate show, doing this music, but I just felt like it's actually this organization is putting on the music festival, puts on the film festival. It's through the is it through the Alliance for Social and Economic Justice in San Francisco? And so I was like, whoa. So, and this is also, I just want to share it. This is the first music festival. The film festival has been going on. And Kaylah has been co-directing the film festival. She is the director of the first ever San Francisco SF Social and Economic Justice Music Festival in 2025, January 18th and 19th. So that is really cool. So I just wanted to highlight that. That is so exciting. And I just wanted to ask if you would be willing to, I know it's still really early on, but would you be willing to share maybe 2 or 3 examples of what people could be looking forward to in some of these workshops that will be there?
Yes. Let me put some together. I know that we're doing one which is music of the word. So Avacha, she she is on KPOO and has a show there, and she has a show on KPFA also. And so she'll be leading that. Where she also has a poetry reading that happens throughout the city, so she'll be reading that. She'll be leading that workshop, and then Ronnie Stewart, which is head of the Blues Society, beautiful, and so he and Avacha will be speaking about the music of Russell City and the history of it, and bringing up some of that too, and the American indigenousness of jazz music as being a truly an art form that truly birthed out of America. So we have that one. I believe Rashida may be doing, and I'm not sure with who else, maybe doing one that has to do to Glide Memorial, has to do with healing and music and the arts. And that's important because I think that when you care, you know, and when you're caring and we're out here trying to create that more perfect union every single day, you know, at the people level, that it's a toll taken out of you, right? It can be, we have moments of burnout. That's one of the biggest things with organizers, that with the organization I've been working with, they are really trying to do a sustainable way of organizing, so that with that, like, to combat that burnout, to combat that, like, you want to give your last blood, you know, especially in the middle, you know, but it's sometimes like the fight is the long term, right? It's not like it's very rare that it's like these quick things. It's like, can you create that tension on the problem for so long that finally it breaks, it gives, it does all of that. So you yourself have to stay healthy and strong. Have moments when you have to be like, okay, I need to stop, and maybe, you know, bring people into it. So having a space of healing and teaching and doing, like, using art and music to heal is going to be a real important workshop. So I know we're going to have that there, as well as have an area where we try to have just other healing modalities there, as well as music. I know we had talked about somewhat having some different vendors there also. So just, yeah, you want to create our community for that weekend. Those are some things to look forward to. And then we have, like I said, the choirs, the singers, performers that night that will be performing also. So we'll have all of that, as well as you. So you come, you may be performing on that stage also with us. That's how community gets created. That invitation's out there.
Beautiful. Forward to it.
Yes, definitely. Me too. Yeah, I love the part where he said music is like healing. I agree with that so much. That resonates with me. Like, in any kind of really problems, I feel like music is like a healer for me. So in this sense, it's going to be, I think, great, and it's going to bring communities together and emphasize social and economic issues that we have around us. So I'm really excited for this music festival.
Come creative with us, right? That's the whole thing. Tell people,
Yeah.
come, if you want the music festival to be a little bit of this or a little bit of that, you got to bring that a little bit of this.
Okay.
You know, and that.
Noted, yes.
Right?
Definitely. Yes.
Bring that to that form.
And we will try our best, right?
Yeah, we'll be there for sure.
Yes, of
Well,
course.
Well,
But bringing
you all are helping to build it.
Yeah. But performing, we might have to work on that later
We
on.
might be podcasting.
Yes.
Okay.
In the background. Yeah, so I don't have any more questions really.
Oh,
if you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Wait, I'm not sure.
As the co-director of the San Francisco Social and Economic Justice Film Festival, would you be willing to share with us and our viewers a little bit more about that event?
Yes. Oh my God, you guys have to come out. It's going to be during the time of the Labor Festival. I believe it's happening too. So it's great because you'll have a lot of events at our festival. We happening that last weekend in July, and it has been. So there's a lot of things where you kind of may hear of, you know, sometimes when people hear of an issue, they don't care until it becomes personal, or, you know, and a way to make something personal are through stories, through people stories. So the great thing about films is that can reach people. I mean, we do it live as well as we also stream it, so you can bring it into your living room, and by watching these films, suddenly you find yourself caring about issues you knew nothing about, right? Or things that seemed so far out there to you. You start to see your relationship by hearing someone's story. So, love films. It breaks through that, where our imagination fails us, or where media blinds us, or where our own experiences don't create the bridge that we need them to create to get to where we need to go. Like, film takes all of that and it fleshes out the bridge that you need to reach somebody else. and that's why we love it. So we did this last one, and it's hard because each year I almost want to like take some of the films and redo them because I sit through when I'm like, oh my god, I need everybody in the room for this. This was amazing. I didn't even know, right? And so we did some great films, and we are focusing. We do some international, but we also try to really focus on films that are local, that we want to play, just to make sure that we have so much out here, right? And so to highlight the messages and the issues in the Bay Area. And we have a call for entry, which is due April 1st. You can go to csej.org. You'll find information on there. And we're looking mainly, like I said, local directors. That's our first wing that we would love to fill, because like I said, we have a lot. And we love, I mean, even if it's your first time, even if you're just like pulling out your phone and you're just capturing something around you, that's a film. Might be a short. That might be something. Submit that.
Yes.
You know, let us have that. And so, like I said, everything we do, we try to create community. So come be a part of the media community and the Bay Area, and put that out for us too. So yeah, join, submit your wake up today, and go to csej.org.
Is the film festival located like at a physical location?
It is.
Oh.
So the first time, it's funny, the first year when we, you had COVID had happened and all of that, so we ended up having to make it virtual, and then we made it virtual for another year. But then we did it, we had done it at the, we did it at the Roxy the year before, and then this year that just passed, we did it at the Victoria. So we're still looking at that for this year too, coming up.
Is that a theater?
It is. It's an old San Francisco theater, so that was kind of cool. It had all that the historical feeling around it. So we haven't quite solidified for this year exactly where, but it's going to be definitely in the Bay Area, probably somewhere in the Mission that we aim for to have the film festivals. I'd keep it local.
Nice.
I know, we try.
And like Kaylah said, if you go into csej.org under Film Festival, and call for entries means you can submit your entry for the film festival, because there are awards and prizes for. There's a feature film award, a short film award, a youth film award for directors under 25, and some of the topics that the films explore. Like Kaylah said, they're would like to highlight local, but have done international. Some topics include, just so you guys get like a little sense of what to expect, hunger, poverty, homelessness, worker justice, racism and oppression, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, prisoner justice and mass incarceration, disability rights, environmental justice and sustainability, and more. So, Kaylah, thank you so much. We'll have to, I feel like there's so much more to talk about. We'll have to have you on for another podcast, hopefully, maybe in the future. If you'd be willing to come back, we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy activist schedule and creative mastermind schedule to be here with us and chit chat for a little bit. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Gonna take us all. Gonna take us all.